Hey everyone, let's wrap up December. A month where nothing happened, a lot happened, I didn't get things done, I don't know. I uploaded 2 reading vlogs about the same book. I finished 3 books, we'll talk about them in a minute. And I uploaded 1 video where I talked about my reading goals and goals going into 2022, which is basically not making any goals, or at least not yearly goals. I've been thinking a lot since we talked about goals in that video that maybe short-term goals or monthly goals is more a way to go. And I have decided for January definitely that I need to put systems in place. You know that I like habits and think that habits really help me do things that I want to do and achieve things, especially with the exercise goals I have, or in general exercise habits that I built up really helped me through the pandemic and in general help me to get myself to exercise without putting too much energy into it. And I want to put some systems in place that do that for different parts of my life as well. One huge part is, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm struggling cleaning. I don't know what happened, but ever since I started working 9 to 5, I find cleaning exhausting and put it off all the time. So this morning I had the idea that I just replace my Sunday morning exercise with cleaning, and maybe use a habit I already have of morning exercise to get over this initial, oh, you have to clean. So trying that. Not sure how much that is going to work. Another thing I want to implement a better system for is making videos again on a more regular basis. I don't know what happened, but not following a schedule last year didn't really implement more videos, but less and less and less. And being tired all the time and looking like this, I feel I look tired all the time and I don't want to look at myself, and I'm astonished that you want to look at myself. I need to overcome this, so I haven't found a system there yet. But I want to implement a system that makes making videos easier for me again, and editing videos easier again, and not such a big burden that I think, oh, I need to sit down and film a video. Because when I do, I have fun. It's not that I don't enjoy making videos and the feedback I get when I make videos. It's just this initial getting there. So that needs to improve. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. And of course, I thank you very much for all your kind words to my letter to December, which I also uploaded, and I need to implement a better system of filming footage actually, because I forgot to film stuff for that in December. I don't know what happened, but thank you for enjoying the sunny day I had in November. Okay, let's move on to the books. And as I said, I uploaded 2 reading vlogs talking about PopCo, and I enjoyed the book. It's a little bit big, 500 pages-ish. It's about this company, PopCo, who produces toys, and the creatives or the company has a conference where everyone goes out to this, let's call it ranch. I forgot what it is called. But there they implement a new team that needs to brainstorm and teamwork on a new idea to market to teenage girls. And it's a lot about marketing, a lot about the creatives, about the capitalism, about the idea of marketing and how we market to people and what it does to our consumerism. So it is talking about capitalism, consumerism, and critically talking about it in a way that it's implemented in the discussions the characters have. We also get another narration of the main narrator's childhood, where she grew up with her grandparents and cracking codes and solving mysteries. All of that is combined together to form a fun story that is captivating at times, not moving fast forward on a plot device thing, but really talking about insights, philosophies, ideas. And this is the kind of book I really enjoy by Scarlett Thomas. I read, I think, almost all her books. I think 1 or 2 are missing. And some I like and others I don't like. This one is the style I like from her, where she's more bright young people talking and philosophizing and thinking about life. Admittedly, this is a lot in my echo chamber of interest with anti-consumerism, anti-capitalism, and yeah, a lot of the topics there. So if you're into that, you will enjoy this book too. The other 2 books I listened to on audio. The first one being Lote, and I don't remember it. I do remember it, but I cannot summarize the story properly. Lote is this book that is following this young Black woman who was switching identities all the time. She calls it her escapisms, and researching people. That's how it starts. Then it evolves into her falling in love or in research love with this one character, this artist from the 1920s. I forgot that name as well, but it was a Black woman in Bohemian society, let's call it, and how a lot of art by Black artists is disappeared, and sort of a conspiracy theory behind that is mentioned, but it doesn't go anywhere. And that's my problem with the book. I'm not sure if the audiobook was the best choice. It was well done, but I kept wanting to flip back and forth, and I think there were images that were described all the time, and I think in the book they were printed, which would have helped me. Overall, I liked some of the ideas that were started on, some of the characters, some of the topics that were scratched upon, but that's just it. The things that I was interested in were just scratched upon superficially. They didn't go anywhere. And the things that were followed through were mostly the main character and narrator, and I just didn't care for her. I couldn't connect to her. She was just annoying. I didn't understand her motivations. I didn't see where she was coming from most of the time. I couldn't connect. So a lot of things that didn't work with the book might just be me and the situation I'm generally in right now. But I don't know if this is true for other people as well. The writing was beautiful and boring at the same time. It had an interesting concept, but like I said, I think the audiobook was not the best choice for me to consume this book. So it might work better in print. I don't even know if ebook would have worked better, because the flipping back and forth I can only do properly and really well, enjoyably well, in physical books. So I'm not discouraging you to read it. It has interesting stuff it does with literature, with ideas, with characters, with story. But I think either it didn't take them far enough or I didn't get it. Which leads us to the last book I finished, which was The Lady of the Lake. You may have heard me ramble and rant about this before, but I hated it. This is the last book in the Witcher saga, finishing up the story of Geralt and Ciri and a lot of other things. My criticism with this book is that it was confusing. It started off in a future after everything that happened, and they were looking back trying to figure out the legend. And then we kept jumping around. I was so confused as to when and where we were in the story, if we were dream narrating, somebody else narrating the story. And a lot of it was told by being told by someone else to someone. And it was so far distance. And then it kept switching and I was just confused. It might have been due to the audio a bit, but I listened to all the rest as well. And I was not confused, bored at times, but not this confused as to where we are, who's talking, what we're doing, like what's going on. The story around Ciri and Geralt got the worst conclusion ever, I think, because I don't think I really understood the conclusion there. It was sometimes hinted at, then it was happening, and then things were just like, okay, we're done, it felt like, but then it kept going on for more hours, and the war ended, but there was a lot of war, and there was a lot of sex, with people having sex, people talking about sex, attempted rape, and it was just so annoying at times. The descriptions were just repetitive and honestly not very, I couldn't care about it. It wasn't, I don't know how do you describe sex you want to read about in books? Well-written sex? I don't know. It was just annoying, repetitive, and ugh, and a lot. And then there was a lot of violence, which was also boring after a while. And then there were a lot of politics going on with the sorceresses, where it was like, well, what is this all about now? I don't get it. So politics and war and violence and sex and confusing narration. That was most of the book for me. Granted, it might just be that I'm not interested in any of those things in fantasy. I was reminded why I don't usually read epic fantasy. I'm not interested in all these long, drawn-out politics and war and everything. which tends to be a lot of epic fantasy. And then it's just not what I read a fantasy for. So maybe you like the ending better. If you gave up on the Witcher saga before, don't bother continuing. Just read up what happens, read a summary somewhere. So after this, let's end on a high note, talking about how I am an idiot. You know that I've been learning Korean with the Pimsleur audio courses, and I've been getting them over Audible because I have a subscription, and as far as I knew, Pimsleur is only audio, nothing else, because that's the Pimsleur method. But then over Christmas, I discovered that there is an app with flashcards for vocabulary, with other vocabulary training things, reading training, and I was just mad at myself because this is something that I was struggling with retaining vocabulary and remembering stuff that was in the earlier lessons. So I tried to figure out how to use the app without rebuying everything. And there it comes in where Pimsleur is stupid, because I sent them an email asking how to do that and whatever. Then they took so long to reply that I kept going back and figured out that the app has a subscriptions option where you subscribe to the app and you can have access to the whole course. So I can have access to the whole of the 3 levels of Korean that are available on the app for 20 euros a month, which I saw a lot of people complaining that that is expensive, but just consider this. I paid 10 euros per 5 lessons before. So I already did 60, 70 lessons. So you already have an idea how much money I paid already. I'm fine with that. I don't mind paying money for things I use. What I think value for money is okay. And I think 20 euros for the app, I will finish all the courses in this month. So I basically paid 20 euros on top of everything else. In the meantime, Pimsleur replied with an offer of paying 50 euros for something, blah, blah, blah. It sounded very complicated, and they didn't even suggest the app subscription options. I'm thinking they're not pushing this because it's so much cheaper than all their other products. If you buy the products from the website, all Korean lessons, it's 350 euros. So technically you could finish the 3 levels in 3 months and could get it for 60 euros on the app. Prices may vary depending on where you are, but for me, the monthly pay is, I think, 21 euros or so. Anyways, I started using that and it's so much fun. I'm so mad at myself for not knowing this before, and I attribute it a little bit to me being overwhelmed with everything and not researching things properly, because I knew Pimsleur, so I thought I knew the product, but I didn't, and I didn't look into it anymore. Yeah, anyway, so that's how that is going. Other than that, you may have heard me talk about reading Ulysses over the Christmas vacation. I had a week off and I had planned to finish and read Ulysses. I failed. I read about 190 pages and I am not interested. I am a little confused because this is a book I wanted to like and I wanted to finish, I wanted to have read, at least on a superficial level. Deep diving into everything that's in there, I don't see that possible for me at the moment, and especially not on a first read. But failed on that. So I currently started listening to the audiobook. I'm still at the part where it's re-listening, so things I read before, but I don't know how much further I can get. It's 27 hours. I currently can't run because my foot is hurting, so it's a lot less audio time that I have because I'm barely walking and definitely not running. So not sure how that is going. I also don't want to prioritize reading in January because I want to prioritize on setting up systems to make the rest of the year a little bit easier to get through things or to get things done that I want to have done. A lot of rambly stuff here at the end. Let me know in comments how your December reading was. Did you make any goals for 2022? Anything else you want to share? Talk about something where you thought I was stupid this year because my brain just wasn't there, like me with Pimsleur? Let's talk in comments, and thank you all for watching. Bye bye.